You know that feeling when you realize you've made a huge mistake? Yeah, well, I turned my entire office into my personal therapy practice, and I can never unsee what I learned. Welcome to Office Confession. It started innocently enough. I'm a mid-level marketing manager at a tech company, and I've always been told I'm a good listener. But I never thought that quality would turn me into the office's unofficial therapist. And the keeper of secrets so wild, I questioned whether I was working at a company or a reality TV show. 6 months ago, my coworker Sarah came to my desk during lunch. She looked stressed, so I asked if she was okay. Big mistake. She proceeded to tell me that she'd been secretly dating our boss's boss, who was married, and that she'd just found out she wasn't the only one he was seeing in the office. I gave her some basic advice, told her to be careful, and thought that was the end of it. But, apparently, word spread that I was safe to talk to. Within a week, I had 3 more people coming to me with their problems. It started small. Jake from accounting was stressed about his mortgage. Fine, normal. Then Linda from HR, yes, HR, confessed she'd been faking her credentials for 2 years and was terrified of getting caught. Then it got weird. Marcus from IT told me he'd been running a side business using company equipment and had made over $50,000. He wanted advice on whether he should quit or just keep going until he got caught. But the wildest confession? That came from David, our straight-laced senior VP. He closed my office door, sat down, and told me he'd been living a double life. Apparently, Mr. Family Man with 3 kids had a whole separate apartment downtown where he'd go on weekends and pretend to be a struggling artist. His wife thought he was on business trips. His art community thought he was a divorced bachelor. He'd been doing this for 5 years. I just sat there, mouth open, wondering how my life had become an episode of a soap opera. Here's where it gets sticky. I now know way too much. I know that Janet is embezzling small amounts from petty cash. I know that 2 people on the executive team hooked up at the holiday party and are now avoiding each other in meetings. I know that someone has been sabotaging another person's projects to make them look bad for a promotion. And the worst part, people keep coming to me expecting advice, but I'm not qualified for this. I'm in marketing, not psychology. Last week, someone asked me if they should report their manager for harassment, and I realized I was in over my head. These aren't just office gossip anymore. These are serious situations, and I'm caught in the middle of all of them. Now I'm stuck. If I tell anyone, I betray everyone's trust, and I become the office snitch. If I stay quiet, I'm potentially allowing harmful things to continue. Some of these secrets could get people fired, or worse, could be covering up actual problems that need to be addressed. I've tried to set boundaries, but people don't listen. They corner me at the coffee machine, pull me into empty conference rooms, or send me vague Slack messages asking if we can chat privately. My actual work is suffering because I'm spending half my day being everyone's unpaid therapist. And honestly, the weight of knowing everyone's secrets is exhausting. But here's the thing that keeps me up at night. Last Friday, I overheard 2 executives talking about layoffs, big ones, and several of the people who've confessed things to me, things that could get them fired, are on the list. Do I warn them? Do I stay silent? And if I warn them, do I have to explain how I know? I've created a web of secrets and trust that I can't escape from. I wanted to be helpful, but instead I've made myself the most informed and most uncomfortable person in the entire building. So yeah, that's how I accidentally became the office therapist and learned way more than I ever wanted to know about my coworkers. The moral of the story? Sometimes being a good listener is more of a curse than a blessing. And if someone starts a sentence with, "Can I tell you something in confidence?" maybe just say, "You have a meeting." Now, let's talk about this situation for a minute, because I think a lot of you might relate to this on some level. First off, the office therapist phenomenon is real. There's always that one person at work who everyone feels comfortable opening up to. Maybe it's you. Maybe you've witnessed it happening to someone else. But here's what most people don't realize. Being that person comes with a massive psychological burden. Think about it. This person is now carrying the emotional weight of dozens of people's problems, secrets, and drama, on top of their own job responsibilities and personal life. It's like having a second full-time job that you never applied for and definitely aren't getting paid for. And the ethical dilemmas? They're absolutely wild. When someone confesses they're doing something illegal or harmful, you're suddenly in this impossible position. You're not their lawyer. You're not bound by confidentiality agreements. But you also don't want to be the person who destroyed someone's career over a moment of vulnerability. The VP living a double life? That's the kind of secret that could blow up an entire family. The harassment situation? That's something that needs to be reported. But now the pressure is on someone who never asked to be in this position. Here's my take. If you find yourself becoming the office therapist, you need to set hard boundaries immediately. It's okay to be kind and empathetic, but you can't let people dump their deepest, darkest secrets on you, especially when those secrets put you in compromising positions. A simple, "I appreciate you trusting me, but I think this is something you should talk to HR about," or "I'm not really qualified to give advice on this," can save you so much trouble down the line. And if you're someone who's tempted to confess something major to a coworker, ask yourself, am I putting this person in an unfair position? Am I making them complicit in something they shouldn't be involved in? Sometimes the right move is to keep certain things to yourself or seek actual professional help. All right, now I want to hear from you. Have you ever been the office therapist? What's the wildest confession someone's ever dropped on you at work? Or maybe you've been on the other side. Have you ever confessed something to a coworker that you probably shouldn't have? Drop your stories in the comments below. I read every single one, and honestly, some of your stories might end up as future videos on this channel. And speaking of future videos, if you enjoyed this office confession and want to hear more unbelievable workplace stories, make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, give this video a thumbs up if it resonated with you, and I'll see you in the next confession. Until then, remember, not all secrets are meant to be shared, especially at the office.